Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to this week's episode of Feedback Friday. Today we're joined by the County Executive Committee member, Cecm, for the Department of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries, Julius Maruja. And today he'll be answering questions on agriculture, livestock and fisheries that you've been asking. And we're glad to have him today. Sana sana after Easter, we're now back to office. Karibu Waziri Maruja.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you today. As we begin with other guests, we've hosted your counterpart, Dr. Betty, last year, and today we are with you. You're the Cecm for your department.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about yourself and your role as the County Executive Committee member? What does that entail? What's your role and how do you work within your department?
Thank you very much, viewers. My name is Julius Maruja, the County Executive Committee member in charge of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries. And as the County Minister, I'm in charge of developing legal frameworks and policy that guides the department, be it a law like the ones that we have passed, like the Cecm or the law relating to agroecology, the law relating to be it soil management and such like things. So for now for the county minister, I'm in charge of such documents. Or if there will be amendments, if the law has been in place and it does not serve the purpose, then it is my duty as the minister to seek to amend or review or repeal and come up with a new one. And that is what we do, being able to also defend budgets, annual work plans and such like things. These are policy or development of documents that will help or guide the department going forward. So basically that's my duty in the department.
Okay. And so it's right, because as we've also hosted other CECM, it's right to say that within the national government secretaries,
yes,
previously called ministers, but
yes,
in the county structure, that would be an equivalent to now your role as the county
correct,
executive committee member.
Correct.
And in your department, you recently launched the e-voucher vaccination program for foot and mouth disease in cattle.
Yes.
And one of the things you're advocating for is to have that digitized as well. How has been the impact so far? How many cattle has been vaccinated so far, and what has been the direct impact to the livestock farmers in Vihiga?
Thank you very much. And so there is the National Agricultural Value Chain Development Project, which we call the NAVCDP project. It is a donor-funded project from the national government and supported by our county. And in that project, we have a component where we are doing e-voucher vaccination, meaning that this time round we are on the cattle. And out of the almost 80,000 cattle that we have as a county, so far we have done around, as of yesterday, we had done 24,000 vaccination. Now, challenges that we have faced with this kind of vaccination. One is that it has to be digital. So one is that the process is identify, register, redeem, and vaccinate. So these four must follow each other in that manner. So if you identify our cows or our cattle, we members of the public are then supposed to bring their cow, the muzzle. For us as human beings, we use our fingerprints. But now for the cows or the cattle, we use their muzzle. This is the face and around the nose. And so that process has been faced somewhat, what we call the digitization has been a challenge, because you must first of all identify, register. Now when we come to registration, we have faced challenges in terms of identifying and being able to capture the muzzle, and that relates to the internet. And so that has been a challenge, but in terms of redeeming and vaccinating is a very easy process, where members of the public were paying 50 shillings per cow, and the government, through that project of NAVCDP, thanks to the national government, thanks to the cooperation between the national government and the county. So every farmer who has a cow has been paying 50, then this support has been 110. Now, this process, from the numbers, the coordinating office extended the period for 2-3 weeks, and by yesterday we are only doing 24. So we hope that even if we were to reach 30,000 vaccination, it will really be a good thing for us. So that's exactly where we are in terms of, and we have also had complaints across and courtesy of the registration. But most of the farmers, the process and the doctors, this is done by veterinary doctors, and also the paraprofessionals. And so we do not have a very good number, and so we understand, and it has been brought to our attention, that we have not reached really the ground because the number is few. But we had encouraged farmers to, in a way, bring their cows or their cattle across to a center. That will make it easy because we are rushing against time. But we can say the process has been done, and we expect that 30,000 will be vaccinated at the end of the program.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long will this program take so that the farmers can be able to benefit?
We only have it was to run for 2 months, but now on the expiry of 2 months, it was extended with 2-3 weeks. So we actually we are actually finalizing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so to our residents, they should be able, should the different veterinary officers, veterinary doctors not able to reach them at their village,
homes,
they can take their cattle to a center they'll be able to access the service and only pay 50 shillings to get the e-voucher vaccination.
Exactly. And we thank the county commissioner, because the two of us, the Minister for Agriculture and the county commissioner, are the co-chairs of this process. And so he has been able to mop out, in terms of administration, the national government has very proper structures, and they helped us. They came in handy. They have been able to support us to reach that number. Yeah.
Okay. And also another issue that has been raised is recently there's been a lot of advocacy on removing eucalyptus trees around river areas and riparian areas. And a resident asked, does the department or does the county government, offer the indigenous trees which are encouraged to be planted in place of the eucalyptus trees, or where do the farmers is it by their own initiative, or does the county support them in any way to ensure these trees are planted?
Yeah, a very good question. We as a government, we as Vihiga, we have our cabinet passed the eucalyptus policy, meaning that eucalyptus trees are in a way taking a lot of water around the rivers. And so we are not saying we are banning them, but we are preferring that they be planted maybe in the hills or such like, but not around the water catchment areas. And so it's a combined effort from the Department of Environment, Agriculture, and all the county government to ensure that indeed we do not dry our rivers or our catchment areas. And so what we are doing is we prefer that members of the public to replace with maybe fruit trees or the bamboo trees, so that in place of the eucalyptus, the bamboo trees or fruit trees, they do not take a lot of water. And so that has been a campaign or an advocacy across, and we hope that members of the public, one is that they need to get the seedlings for themselves, and number two, the department also, I'm happy that the Department of Environment has in a way been, whenever we have these tree planting days or afforestation exercise, the department has been providing seedlings. So we cannot rely the entire population of Vihiga, which is almost 600,000, cannot then rely on the Department of say, agriculture or environment. It's a process that we can start by ourselves. We look for seedlings, preferably fruit trees, that now the Department of Agriculture, this is one of the value chain that we have identified in the department, that we recommend now the fruit trees to be planted across. So that is what the combined effort of the government has adopted to approach, so that we do not kill our rivers going future. Yes.
And speaking of value chains,
Yes.
another key project we have in our county is the Tunza project, which is being funded especially by FAO.
Yes.
When has this project begun, and if not, when is it expected to begin, and what is the impact you're looking to see to farmers in Vihiga County?
Great. So in the Department of Agriculture, we are being supported by Food and Agriculture Organization. This is a world UN body. And so for us as the in the LREB, this is the Lake Region Economic Basin, mainstream, which is must be onboarded, and in most of our farmers that they are forming must be able to have this criteria followed. One is that women must be mainstreamed, and two, youth must be onboarded. And so as we go ahead, it has started. We expect to have the full coverage, because we are only at 20 wards. So 5 more, we expect this year to bring in the 5 more. And what it involves is just the training of farmers from production, from the area of where you start. Then we come to how you manage and market, including even value addition. Everything will be together, incorporated. And so in terms of training, the knowledge, if it is mushroom, if it is ALVs, for example, how different can we do it, including preservation for future. And so that is what we have come up as the support, and we are very grateful to Tunza, to FAO Tunza. The project itself is Tunza. We are very grateful to the donors, to the support we have had, and we hope that our farmers will be able to benefit in the process.
And Waziri, you've mentioned youth as a key target for this project, the Tunza project. A different project that was running in the county is NAV CDP's Agripreneurship project.
Yes.
What happened to this project?
Yeah, so in the NAV CDP, agripreneurs, which are now the key persons who will then help us reach out. Now, what we have is that these are youth, mostly are youth, and initially in the first phase, there was a target. This is what we call know the farmer. It was a relationship between our youth, who then through their mobile phones would be able to reach out to the farmers, different farmers across the county. And they used to be remunerated or be paid based on how many farmers have you visited and known what kind of food chains or value chains they are doing. And so because of that, we realized most of our agripreneurs did not get it in the first instance, that it is paid, your payments are tied to the amount of work you do. But that has since been rectified, and we, again, under the NAV CDP, we have brought, with the new guidelines, we have realized that the age has now been raised to 45. So not only the youth, everybody under 45 years will be able to be onboarded as an agripreneur. And they will still the mode of payment will still be the same. And this time around, we are going to do proper sensitization, that you know what really you are getting into. And with our phones, and if what we are doing is linked to the farmers and then to your payment, we realize that there is going to be robust relationship between agripreneurs and our farmers on the ground. And that's exactly what we want. Now, in the process, they will be able to earn a living using their phones. And it will be a platform for them. If it is mbolea, for example, the manure, whatever kind, then they will be able to link that to the farmer. And in the process, it depends with the number of farmers you have visited and attended to. And so agripreneurs, this time going forward, it's going to be a business, and to the youth, so much to the youth, beneficial to the youth. And the age, we are grateful with the new guidelines, the age has now been brought to all the way to 45. So we hope that most of our youth and anybody below that age will be able, below the age of 45, will be able to benefit. And so when we roll out, and some of them we have been able to onboard them in the NAV CDP project. And so as we go forward, we also encourage the youth or anybody below that, below 45, to take up this role. Most of them have done these courses, agripreneurship, and so we encourage them to proceed. And when we start recruitment, which has been ongoing, but now this proper sensitization has been brought in, and so we will be able to pick up to ensure that when it starts, when we roll out and we have proper sensitization about what it entails, then we'll be able to get good numbers going forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned digitization as part of also this project, and previously the e-voucher system is also a digitized system. Yes. Now, is this the future of agriculture? Or what's because a lot of things nowadays are being done through mobile phones. We've seen the e-voucher system is now moving to being digitized. Are there any projects within your department that need now to be digitized, and what are we doing about the farmers on the ground? Some of them may not have access to these tools. What is being done to ensure that they're able to also benefit from these new products? And nowadays you need to have a bit more skills than previously to be able to access these new services.
Yeah, the world is changing, and the world is moving to digital platforms, and not necessarily that farmers may be forced to have maybe phones, smartphones. And that's why we rely more on the agripreneurs. These are people who are young in society, and mostly they spend much time. Actually, we were looking at how they will be incorporated, and mostly they spend much time on their phones. And so when you look at the e-voucher vaccination, the farmers did not have to have smartphones, but the agripreneurs who are accompanying the veterinary doctors needed to have such kind of phones, because they need to at least take the muzzle. Going forward, and now with the agripreneurs being brought in, the another aspect of maybe sensitization to farmers, they need to have a proper phones. But the farmers, not necessarily. They only need to redeem. It means that the only message they receive, it can be any type of phone. But for the youth, most of them, they are with the smartphones. Yeah. And so it's a challenge to those who are now being born right now, those of us who are living in this time, that we have no option but to catch up with the digital world.
Yes. And also, we've spoken a lot about NAV CDP, the project, and one of the key things that your department did is recently you had a public participation exercise on the annual work plan and budget for the 2026-27 financial year. And one of the residents asked, for those who are not able to attend that particular session, will they get access to these documents? Will they be able to access this later so that they can also get to read and understand what's coming up?
Yeah, again, that's a very good question. Whatever all the projects done by the government, even our budgets, are public documents. What I mean by public documents is that any member of the public is able to even come for them. They are in the departments. When we pass them, they eventually become accessible to anyone who has interest, because mostly the projects that we do targets different groups. Say, for example, what we are doing in Musinaka. Musinaka is in northeast Bunyore, and this is a project that we are coming up with Agricultural Training College, which we have never had as the county of Vihiga. Now, this is where we will have demos. Maybe we have for this particular June cow, for example. June cow is a type of napier grass that has a high value of proteins. Now we'll have such demos, demonstration sites. What I mean by demos is demonstration sites where farmers who would want to do June cow production can come for such education. We could also have different types of ALVs, the ones that we have said. So that is the place of a 13, 14 acre piece of land, which is rare to be found in Vihiga, courtesy of this government, that we have been able to secure that land to put up a place. Now that land has been idle for long. Now farmers across the county can come to that. Our students, our teachers, that will be a very nice place for us to do, for even other counties to come for benchmarking. We have had such colleges like Mabanga in Bungoma, where we go for demonstrations. And so for us, we are going to have one of our own in Musinaka, just right here. And so when we have such projects, these projects are a subject of public participation, be it the annual work plan or the budget that is related to such project. And so if then members of the public raise an issue that I don't think I know what is in that project, for example, or how much it will cost, or whether it has met all the tests and the requirements that is attained to it, pertained to it, then they have a right to come to the department. The department is open. The other documents that we are uploaded on our website, some, but because these are big documents, are in the department. And so we invite anybody, including the one who has raised that he was not there and such important documents were passed. They are welcome in the department. We will be able to take them through so that they understand what kind of projects the department is coming up with.
And can you tell us about now the other projects that your department is working on beyond the ones we have mentioned?
Yeah, beyond the big project of Musinaka, we also have two irrigation schemes, one in Hamuyundi. Hamuyundi is in Sabatia. We also have in Banja another project. For now, these are the three main projects. We have also seen that some of the MCAs have come up with a ward-based, which they are being done or spearheaded by the department in terms of in-calf heifers. These are cows which are, you cannot use the word expectant. I think the right word is in-calf, meaning that they are due. They are expecting. So these are the projects, but the main projects in agriculture for 2020, this year are the three, and these are changing. They are life-changing, as I have mentioned. When you look at the one I've talked about, the college, then when you look at the irrigation schemes, we have realized there are dry spells sometimes in Vihiga. And so maybe when we have such, that we have able to even grow the members of the public who are then in those areas I've mentioned, especially in Hamuyundi and in Banja, they'll be able to irrigate crops or these vegetables. And in that process, especially in the month of December and January, in Vihiga, I have seen 3 weeks of no rains. It's like a dry spell. And so vegetables, we run short of vegetables during those times. And so we encourage those who live across or around the areas we have mentioned where we are going to roll out this irrigation scheme, then they'll be able to benefit from the water, especially the waters that we are pumping. What we are doing is a scheme pumping the water to the upper part, then it is able to irrigate those areas, especially farmers living across that area. Yeah.
And Waziri, as we conclude, one of your key roles in your department is on policy and the legal frameworks.
Yeah.
What are some of the instruments that you have put in place to ensure that your department is running well and farmers, agriculture, livestock, and the fisheries sectors in Vihiga County are doing well?
Yeah, one is that we passed the agroecology that I mentioned. This is law related agroecology, meaning that it's a cycle. Whatever we do must be able to meet in the ecosystem. And that policy is one of its kind. We are only second to Muranga. That is a policy. Number two, we are coming up now with a bill so that it will now, after Governor, we expect that this one, with the support that we have seen from donors, thanks to the support we have, the partners that we have called upon, and they have come in handy. They will now be able to support us, especially in this phase, to support us enact the agroecology bill, which will translate into an act. This is going to be a life-changing law. The other one was what we passed in health, nutrition, food, nutrition, and safety security bill, which then our governors assented to it, and it is now an act. This is helping us in terms of what we eat. And then the Department of Health and the Department of Agriculture meet there, because you need food for nutrition.
Yes.
And then now the Department of Health, which then spearheads, it advises on what kind of food. So for us, you can see there is very good linkage in terms of that law. Going forward, we may look at when we don't really have another law, we rely on the national. Counties do not run independently. There is very good interdependence. They run independently in other matters, but in other matters, we correlate or support each other with the national. So in the event that we do not have a law or a policy in the county, then we borrow from what is being being implemented in the national. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any last words or messages for residents of Vihiga County?
Yeah, residents of Vihiga, we have realized that there are a lot of programs and projects that we do. Those who have been patient, those members of the public who have been patient with this government, they are able to look at different projects, so many projects. Those of us who sit in the cabinet, we pass like very big projects. But these projects sometimes, I don't know whether it is lack of proper movement. Some of our people may not in one way or the other, may not, and proper also advertisement or publication or publicizing, making known. Yeah. So most of most of the members of the public may not know what we do, but we do a lot. And those of us who pass those projects in the cabinet, we do a lot. When you look at what we do, there are so many touching, life-changing projects. Talk about in agriculture, talk about in health, talk about in the other departments, even in gender, sports, a lot. So what we need to do as the members of public, especially from Vihiga, we need to find out what is it that the government is doing. And it is their right to be able to know in this budget of 2024-2025, what is in it for us as members of the public. And this is, as I said, members of the public are entitled to know. We are in these positions courtesy of their blessings. And so if we do not tell them what we are doing, then they may not know. And so it is a call to them, some of them who have not been able to know what we do, to take up and come and visit the department. If it is a department where I've been given an opportunity to be the minister, let them come. And like for example, rains have been we have had a very good season of rains. We are very happy that when we were nearing the start of the rain season, we made it known that members of the public to prepare their land. That is our mandate. And now, what kind of food do we plant? How do we do it? Because we have realized most of the members of the public may not know, especially when the season we are nearing. Plant, then we go for a dry season. They will be able to lose. And so, food. We are now advocating for LVs in Vihiga. We do not want to on eucalyptus. I've seen most of the members cutting down their vegetables to put eucalyptus, which take 10 years to mature. And you know, ALVs take very short time. You are able to, nutrition I was talking about.
Yes.
And so if we then listen to our government and the specialists, those who have been mandated to advise and help farmers, will go far. And so for me as a minister in charge of this department, look now like the livestock, what we've been doing in terms of vaccination.
Yes.
It is to our benefit. We have cows, we have cattle, that if we do not vaccinate, we do not know the meat. We run the risk. We can, you know, right now, when we want, I like what Governor had said when we went to launch the e-voucher vaccination. We want, if it is meat that is found to be faulty or poisonous, we are able to know where it came from. And it is very easy. All the cows or the cattle that are being slaughtered, to point out and go straight all the way to the farmer and realize to curb it. And if it is something that can be prevented from going to the market, that's to be in those positions. To run this government. It is not easy. Sometimes we sympathize with him. He's on flight to this meeting, and we support and pray for him. And so I think we are on the right direction. A few things, few challenges, but we are on the right direction. Okay. Thank you very much. And finally, I'm happy. This is my maiden appearance in this forum, and I'm happy for you people, the entire team, the governor's press. We support you. I'm happy that you are able to plan for us to come, at least to interrogate us what we are doing in the department. Yes. We are very, very happy. I wish I could be coming here every month. Please plan for us so that we come every month.
We'll plan again.
Yeah.
Today.
Thank you.
Thank you again to our audience for asking the questions, for following up on county projects. Julius, Maruja, today to be able to answer your questions. We continue encouraging you to take advantage of the different projects that have been mentioned, the different areas. If you have any questions, feel free to walk to the Department of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries offices and ask your questions. Thank you again. I've been your host, Shamim Kerai Hussein. Until next time, bye.